What if the world's greatest inventor of clean energy joined forces with history's most powerful oil baron? Imagine a reality where Nikola Tesla, the man who dreamed of free energy for all humanity, shook hands with John D. Rockefeller, the ruthless tycoon who built the world's first oil empire. Sounds impossible, right? But this alternate history might have changed everything about the world we live in today. In our timeline, these two giants never collaborated. Tesla, the brilliant but commercially naive inventor, struggled financially his entire life, despite creating the AC electrical system that powers our homes today. By 1917, he was practically broke, feeding pigeons in New York parks while his revolutionary ideas gathered dust. Meanwhile, Rockefeller had become the world's first billionaire through Standard Oil, controlling 90% of America's oil production and refining. He was so wealthy that when the government broke up his monopoly in 1911, the pieces became Exxon, Mobil, and Chevron, still some of the largest energy companies today. But what if, in 1899, as Tesla was building his famous Wardenclyffe Tower to transmit wireless electricity across the globe, Rockefeller saw an opportunity instead of a threat? What if, rather than letting J.P. Morgan abandon Tesla's funding, Rockefeller stepped in with an offer that Tesla couldn't refuse? In this alternate timeline, Rockefeller approaches Tesla with a proposition. Mr. Tesla, your wireless energy threatens my oil business today, but together we could control the energy of tomorrow. Tesla, desperate to complete his tower and bring free electricity to the masses, reluctantly accepts, not realizing he's making a deal with the devil. By 1905, the Rockefeller-Tesla Electric Company successfully demonstrates wireless power transmission across 500 miles. The world is astonished, but there's a catch. Rockefeller insists that this technology be monetized, not given away freely as Tesla had dreamed. They deploy wireless power stations across America, but each one requires a Rockefeller-owned meter to receive the electricity. By 1915, in this alternate world, homes no longer need power lines. Cities look dramatically different. No telephone poles, no electrical wires crisscrossing the sky. Rural America industrializes decades earlier than in our timeline because electricity reaches remote areas without expensive infrastructure. The economic boom is unprecedented. But the true divergence happens around 1920. With their monopoly on wireless electricity firmly established in America, Rockefeller-Tesla begins international expansion. European nations recovering from World War I eagerly adopt the technology. However, instead of fostering peace through shared resources as Tesla had hoped, Rockefeller uses energy access as a political weapon. Countries loyal to American interests receive preferential rates, while others face energy blockades. Meanwhile, Tesla continues to innovate, developing electric vehicles 80 years before our Tesla motors would emerge. By 1925, 1 in 4 American families owns a Rockefeller-Tesla automobile, powered wirelessly from the same stations that energize their homes. Gasoline is still used, but primarily for industrial machinery and shipping. Rockefeller diversifies rather than resists the change. The Great Depression hits differently in this timeline. While financial markets still crash, the energy revolution creates millions of new jobs installing and maintaining the global wireless network. Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal includes the Universal Energy Act, which finally delivers on Tesla's original vision: government-subsidized basic electricity for all Americans. World War II takes a different course as well. Germany, cut off from Rockefeller-Tesla's energy network, accelerates development of solar and wind power under Hitler's autarky policies. Japan, similarly isolated, invests heavily in hydroelectric power. The war becomes not just a battle for territory, but a struggle for energy independence from American technology. By the 1950s, the environmental impact of this alternate history becomes apparent. Oil consumption peaks decades earlier than in our timeline, with petroleum primarily used for plastics and chemicals rather than fuel. Global carbon emissions are significantly lower. Without the massive oil infrastructure investments of the mid-20th century, Middle Eastern politics evolved differently, potentially avoiding many of the conflicts we've seen. But this world isn't utopian. Rockefeller's monopolistic practices extend to this new technology. The Rockefeller-Tesla Electric Company controls not just how energy is distributed, but who gets access. privacy concerns emerge as the company can monitor energy usage patterns in every home. And Tesla's later inventions, including death rays and earthquake machines, fall under military control rather than scientific oversight. As we approach the present day in this alternate timeline, the world faces different challenges. Energy is abundant but tightly controlled. Climate change is less severe, but technological inequality is more pronounced. Nations that rejected or were denied the Rockefeller Tesla system have developed alternative technologies that are now competing with the aging wireless network. So what would your life look like if history had taken this turn? Would you enjoy the convenience of wireless electricity everywhere? Or would you resent being dependent on a system you can't control? Would you celebrate the environmental benefits of early electrification? Or would you protest the monopolistic power of the company that controls the switch? This what-if scenario reveals something profound about our real history. The development of energy technology has never been merely a matter of scientific discovery, but always a question of power. Who controls it, who profits from it, and who decides how it transforms society? The greatest irony? In our actual timeline, Elon Musk named his electric car company after Tesla while building it with capitalist principles that would have made Rockefeller proud. Perhaps these two opposing forces, the idealistic vision of abundant clean energy and the pragmatic business of energy production, were destined to converge all along.